Hello and good evening, everyone. On behalf of the care team at UUC, I'd like to wish you a warm welcome to our annual Service of Solace and Contemplation. This is obviously a very unusual holiday season with unique challenges for many of us. I'm grateful we can use technology to be together during this time. During this time of year, which is typically one of celebration and joy, holiday carols, and good cheer, we might find ourselves at odds with the holiday season going on all around us. It doesn't always seem to fit where our tender hearts may lie. Perhaps we have hearts that are hurting from loss. Perhaps we have hearts hurting from memories of holiday past, some sweet or maybe some more bitter. Perhaps we have hearts that are hurting from a deep grief, and this isn't always reflected in the world that we walk in. So tonight, we accompany each other as we experience the joys and the challenges of the season. With music, poetry, candles, and silence, we allow our deeper selves to be acknowledged. Knowing that grief ebbs and flows throughout our days and our lives. This church and our care team are here to offer support whenever it is needed. Blessed be.
I'm listening. I am listening. Spirit, speak to me. I'm listening. I am listening. Spirit, speak to me. My ears are wide open. My eyes are now open to see what I may be. I'm listening. I am listening. Spirit, speak to me. I'm listening. I am listening. In this moment of Spirit, speaks through me. I can hear the voices of all my kin. I'm listening, singing. I am listening, tweeting and howling into the wind. My ears are wide open, and oh, the joy. My eyes are wide open, oh, the love to see and hear for you and me. Oh, I'm listening in this moment of silence. I am listening. I hear Spirit speak through me. Did you sleep well? Mm-hmm. Can I ask you a favor? Can you go and push with Jake for 5 minutes while I finish? You see I'm doing some worky stuff.
For 5 seconds?
5 minutes. You'll see how long. It's not very long.
How many seconds is 5 minutes?
Well, it's 300 seconds, but you don't have to count to 300. I'll just be in there to get you when I'm all done, okay?
So who's gonna have to count to 300?
I'll do it.
Okay.
Our chalice lighting tonight is a poem by Rainer Maria Rilke entitled, "Let This Darkness Be a Bell Tower." Quiet friend who has come so far, feel how your breathing makes more space around you. Let this darkness be a bell tower and you the bell. As you ring, what batters you becomes your strength. Move back and forth into the change. What is it like, such intensity of pain? If the drink is bitter, turn yourself to wine. In this uncontainable night, be the mystery at the crossroads of your senses, the meaning discovered there. And if the world has ceased to hear you, say to the silent earth, I flow. To the rushing water, speak, I am.
I invite you to join me as you're comfortable in singing hymn 55, Dark of Winter. Dark of winter, soft and still, your quiet calm surrounds me. Let my thoughts go where they will, ease my mind profoundly, and then my soul will sing a song, a blessed song of love eternal. Gentle darkness, soft and still, bring your quiet to me. Darkness, soothe my weary eyes, that I may see more clearly. When my heart with sorrow cries, comfort and caress me, and then my soul may hear a voice, a still small voice of love eternal. Darkness, when my fears arise, bring your quiet to me.
Death is Nothing at All, a poem by Henry Scott Holland. Death is nothing at all. I have only slipped away to the next room. I am I, and you are you. Whatever we were to each other, that we still are. Call me by my old familiar name. Speak to me in the easy way which you always used. Put no difference into your tone, and wear no forced air of solemnity or sorrow. Laugh as we always laughed at the little jokes we enjoyed together. Play, smile, think of me, pray for me. Let my name be ever the household word that it always was. Let it be spoken without effort, without the trace of a shadow on it. Life means all that it ever meant. It is the same that it ever was. There is absolute and unbroken continuity. Why should I be out of mind because I am out of sight? I am but waiting for you, for an interval somewhere, very near, just around the corner. All is well.
Welcome to University Unitarian Church's annual service of solace. I am the Rev. Beth Chronister, and I serve this congregation as the Minister of Pastoral Care. And I want to thank you for gathering tonight for this winter service of solace. In times of loss, and we have all experienced loss this year, and in a holiday season unlike any other, we come together in the ways that we can to be with what is most real in our hearts. We come together to pause and be present to our grief as well as our gratitude. And we gather at a time in which many are feeling fearful, anxious, sad, or alone. We are living through a very stressful and traumatic year, and the impacts of which are both intimate to each person and global in nature. And so we gather on this night to be sanctuary for one another, to remind each other that no one is truly alone, and to rest for a moment in the grace of the world. My dear, strong, courageous, tender, hurting, resilient souls, welcome. I now light these candles so that they might illuminate hope in the darkness. I light the first candle to honor whatever pains you are bringing with you tonight, whatever losses you are grieving or fears and regrets you are carrying. Know that you are welcome here. I light the second candle for gratitude. Gratitude for the gift of life, the transformative power of love, and the healing power of time. Gratitude for loved ones, friends, family, community, memory, and for our mother, the earth. I light the third candle for hope. Hope that holds us when we are unable to imagine anything but pain or despair. Hope that does not give up on joy, on healing or wholeness, or the possibility of things yet unknown. Hope for you, for us all, and for the world. And on this year, I light one final candle. And this is in remembrance of all who have died due to COVID-19, and the many families and friends who are grieving, and the many frontline workers whose lives will never be the same because of this pandemic. We witness your grief and your loss, and we join our hearts to yours. May peace be yours, if only for this next hour of silence, song, and story.
I invite you again to sing with me as you're comfortable, hymn number 1031, Filled with Loving Kindness. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be whole. May you be filled with with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be whole. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be peaceful and at ease. May we be whole.
Growing up on the prairie, the ocean was a thing of mystery and intrigue to me. I was 7 the first time I saw the ocean on a trip to California with my family. We spent a day at the beach and I enthusiastically ran for the waves, ready to dive in and swim like I would in lakes or pools back home. It wasn't long before I realized that swimming in the ocean was actually nothing like swimming in a lake or a pool. I jumped into the water and felt my legs getting pulled out from underneath me as the wave receded. As soon as I was able to stand, I felt myself get pushed forward by an incoming wave. I was pushed and pulled by forces of the water, becoming pretty disoriented and bedraggled in the process. After some time, I pulled myself back onto shore, covered in seaweed and shivering, looking back at the waves crashing in. This is one of my earliest memories of realizing that I was not the center of the universe, but actually a small and vulnerable part of something much grander, more terrifying, and more beautiful. I also learned that day that hot dogs and salt water don't mix. In the first weeks of the pandemic, I felt a similar disorientation as I had on that day on the beach, pushed and pulled by forces that were beyond me, beyond any one of us, truly. Life felt upended and the waves, they kept crashing in. Grief can feel this way too. In the wake of a death, a divorce, a job loss, a frightening diagnosis, a miscarriage, the waves of grief come crashing in, pushing and pulling at our happiness, our plans, our need for steady ground. Such losses leave us disoriented, longing for the life we thought we knew, and vulnerable in the face of all that we do not control. And even in these moments of great disorientation, we may glimpse the vastness, the terror, and even the beauty of it all. And by it all, I mean life itself. The complex, sometimes frightening beauty of being mortal, and the exquisite, sometimes wrenching experience of love. In my senior year of college, I was living with a dear friend when she received word that her father had taken his own life. I sat with her as the waves of shock, numbness, sadness, confusion, and regret washed over her and her broken heart. Throughout those first days, in the weeks that followed, I would sense her emotions shift and would ask, is there another wave coming? This became our shorthand communication for when grief was emerging and she needed a companion to sit with her in the pain of losing a parent and all the unanswered questions left behind. With time for my friend, there were fewer and fewer waves as her heart began to heal and she found her footing once more. The waves wouldn't knock her down each time. The grief changed and the loss became part of her story. So even now, many years later, his songs will still ring in her memory. Anyone who has lost a loved one knows, years later, a memory, a scent, an empty seat at the table, the birth of a child, even encountering someone at the grocery store who reminds you of the person who passed, who stands like them, who smiles like them. These moments can touch suddenly the depths of sadness and illuminate the space that was left behind. There are losses that one never truly gets over or moves on from. And I imagine that is as it should be. My mother called me teary last month. She was missing her father, a man who passed away almost 50 years ago. As we heard in the poem earlier, there is absolute and unbroken continuity. Why should I be out of mind because I am out of sight? There's something about carrying a person's memory, of being moved to tears or a smile, even years later, that preserves a tether to the relationship. Grief carries an imprint of the love that was shared, a remnant of the connection that was. I recently encountered this poem by Terry Crosby entitled Flood Rain's Faithful Sister. She writes, grief is a sister to flood rain. Holding hands, they roll over restraining walls. Together they stream, surge, cascade out over the land of the heart, into valleys of the mind, through the dark woods. Grief is love, uncaged, overflowing, endless love. Grief is love, realized and released. Grief is love let free. Stunning. Grief is loved, realized, and released. Grief is love let free. Of course, this doesn't have to be your understanding or experience. Maybe you are currently being tossed around in the waves. Maybe your grief is much heavier, much more complicated than love set free. Or maybe in this pandemic, you're just treading water. In a year defined by loss, the large losses and the small daily ones. It can feel at times like being battered by a storm or possibly out to sea and no safe harbor in sight. In such a time, what is your lifeboat? What helps keep you afloat? Maybe it is a practice in which you find solace and soothing. I know so many people who have reconnected with nature during these long months through their windows or on daily walks in their neighborhoods. Myself, I have been hugging and leaning on trees to remind me of how the seasons change and of the timelessness of trees. Maybe it is the practice of meditation, yoga, prayer, dancing, listening to music that connects you back to your heart and your body. Possibly it's taking a deep breath. And then another, bringing calm to your nervous system. These are lifeboats in choppy waters. For many, solidity and safety could be found in relationships with friends, families, and community, sitting online or in person with someone you can lean on, who can listen to pain without shying away or trying to fix it. You can listen to pain and be a witness. Possibly it's a truth, a belief or a mantra that finds you and holds you on days when you are depleted. I find myself returning to these words on hard days. Someday, this too will be a memory. All things pass. And I repeat to myself the wise words of the 14th century mystic Julian of Norwich, who herself lived through the Black Plague, during which she received a message from the divine, and she heard, "All will be well, and all will be well, and all matter of things will be well." Suffering is part of being human. Grief is part of risking loving and being loved. And isn't it worth it? We need lifeboats for such treacherous, wondrous, and vast waters. We can be lifeboats for one another. For storms will come and go, skies break open onto the heavens for the briefest of moments or for days on end, reminding those with hearts to see the incredible miracle and mystery of it all, heartbreakingly beautiful and true. Dear ones, we are held by a great love, a love that holds us all and refuses to let us go. Blessings on you on this winter night. So in the before times, when we would gather in person for this service of solace, this would be the time in which you would be invited to come up to light a candle and lay it on a shared altar. We know that's not possible this year. And so tonight we're going to do something slightly different. Members of the care team will read the names of people who are attending on Zoom, sending you love and peace, and I will light a candle on your behalf, bringing our lights together on this dark night.
Ann Eaker, we are sending you light. Bill Roach, we are holding you in love. Bruce Farwell, we wish you peace. Carolyn Rash, we are holding you in love. Catherine Campbell, we are sending you light. Cecilia, we wish you peace. Sylvia Johnson, we are sending you light. Emmy Easton, we are holding you in love. Eileen Schwartz, we are sending you light. Jan Coriston, we wish you peace. Jan Hood, we are sending you light.
Maddie Smith, we are sending you light. Catherine Ruha, we are holding you in love. John Luopa, we wish you peace. May Killerin, we are sending you light. Judy Haight, we are holding you in love. Maylin Fisher, we wish you peace. Steve Johnson, we are sending you light. Nancy Marinville, we are holding you in love. Pamela Packer Koziski, we wish you peace. Jerome Croman, we are sending you light. Mary Laurie, we are holding you in love. Mary Purdy, we are sending you light. Joel Grow, we wish you peace.
Jane Blackwell, we are sending you light. Jeff Park, we're wishing you peace. Shyler Lewin, we're holding you in love. Jules Mellon, we're sending you light. Gary Shumway, we are wishing you peace. Mary Mason, we are holding you in love. Katie Rentschler, we are sending you light. Kevin Clark, we are wishing you peace. Kira McCoy, we are holding you in love. Kim Waggy, we are sending you light. Lisa Maurer, we are wishing you peace. Mike Kippis, we are holding you in love.
R. Mike Bloom, we wish you peace. Scott Maxson, we are sending you light. Steve Carlson, we are holding you in love. Margaret Sutro, we wish you peace. Sue Williams, we are sending you light. Nicholas Bernard, we are holding you in love. Susan Ruby, we wish you peace. Vicki Lee, we are sending you light. Will and Kay Wilcox, we are holding you in love. Sally Dacey, we are sending you light. For everyone who is present in all of the ways, everyone who is with us in live streaming, we are sending you light and holding you in love.
Now, let me share with you a closing blessing. The Blessing That Does Not End by Jan Richardson. From the moment it first laid eyes on you, this blessing loved you. This blessing knew you from the start. It cannot explain how, It just knows that the first time it sat down beside you, it entered into a conversation that had already been going on forever. Believe this conversation has not stopped. Believe this love still lives. The love that crossed an impossible distance to reach you, to find you, to take your face into its hands and bless you. Believe this does not end, that the gesture once enacted endures. Believe this love goes on, that it still takes your face into its hands, that it presses its forehead to yours as it speaks to you in undying words, that it has never ceased to gather your heart into its heart. Believe this blessing abides. Believe it goes with you always. Believe it knows you still.
Keep your heart wide open, though the waves wanna push you around. You gotta keep your heart wide open till your faith brings you back to solid ground. I'm gonna keep my heart. I'm gonna keep wide open. I'm gonna keep my heart wide open. Though these waves wanna they want me around. Though the waves wanna push me around. I'm gonna keep my heart. I'm gonna keep wide open. I'm gonna keep my heart wide open till my faith brings me back to solid ground. Until my faith brings me back to solid ground. We gotta keep our heart. We gotta keep wide open. We gotta keep our hearts wide open. Though these waves wanna push us around. Although these waves wanna push us around. We gotta keep our heart. We gotta keep wide open till our faith brings us back to solid ground. Till our faith brings us back to solid ground. Say hi.
Hi.
I send you off with this blessing. Deep peace of the running wave to you. Deep peace of the flowing air to you. Deep peace of the quiet earth to you. Deep peace of the shining star to you. Deep peace of the infinite peace to you. Blessings. Thank you for being here tonight and for being lifeboats for one another in this community.